Hey guys, welcome to Split. Today we're looking at something for pro gamers or really avid gamers. You don't have to be pro to be a great gamer. Have you ever felt your controller is missing a few buttons? Look, they usually are. Because the truth is, if you're not using a really high-end controller like a SCUF controller or a Xbox Elite Pro controller, one of those controllers that cost like $100 more, you won't get those extra added benefits of extra buttons. The DualShock is one of my favorite buttons, but I still feel it's missing a couple of buttons. So PlayStation has come out with this great product called the back button attachment, and it aims to solve that problem. Pretty straightforward. Here's the box. Let's see what's inside. So straight up, when you open this box, the first leaflet says important, read first, and then in another language, I'm not too sure. So let's do that. Like it says, it essentially tells you how to plug in the extra button attachment so you don't break it, so they don't have to owe you money or you don't sue. And that's really it. So it is important. Learn how to plug it in when you have the time. Don't break your pad. What else is in here? There's some paper. I think this is the main attachment itself. There's some paperwork in multiple languages that tells you what is what. There's an LED screen here. There's a back button, two back buttons, and then the screen button on the LED screen. It has a headphone jack, but we can see all this in the actual container. So let's just plug this, put it inside, put it all to one side, and deal with the main button. Here we go. Here it is. This is what it looks like. Very simple, but I think it will be very effective. I guess for this to work, we need a controller. Red one, typical, fiery. So there's a jack in here, a headphone jack. This is the OLED screen. There's a button with a figure that shows the button for dummies, in case you don't know where to press. And these two buttons are very tactile, apparently. They don't move at the same time, no matter where I push, because there's a split down the middle. I don't know if you can see that split. So when I push this, but it's super tactile. I think you don't need that much pressure to activate it. Let's try connecting this. So this makes a lot of sense because A, it doesn't need an external power source, right? It runs off your DualShock's batteries. Oh, I gotta turn this off. The manual says you have to turn this off. Let me turn this off. Turn off DualShock. And so then I think you're supposed to align this with the headphone jack. I know people have always wondered what this port's for in the PS4. I guess now you know. This is one of those things that it helps with. You slide it in there. You don't force it in, like the manual says. Once you align it, it's a bit wonky though. So some of the reviews have said exactly what I'm feeling now. They say it's a bit hard first time around to get it in there. Giggity. Sounds weird, I know. But I guess once you figure it out, it clicks. It's in there. So I don't think you should worry too much about the headphone jack because it's the mechanism allows it to move back and forth. So you think you're gonna break it, but it's actually designed that way. I think that way when it goes in, it leans back into the pad, clicks in. Brilliant guys, they figured it out. So it's in there and feels natural. Apex, crouch spammers, I'm coming for you. So basically, buttons, take Apex is a good example. In a game where it's a first-person shooter, you typically have your jump button, your aim button, your fire button here, right? But sometimes you wanna jump, shoot, and aim at the same time. And that forces you to move your finger away from your aim button to shoot or jump. But with this button back here, you can do that simultaneously because you have extra buttons. Let's take off this piece of nylon. So this is the older screen. Oh yeah, pad's dead. So when I power this up, it gives you the PlayStation symbols, right? And then it gives you a profile. So apparently you can double tap to go to another profile, profile 2, profile 3. So it has 3 storage profiles. You can store 3 profiles in here. And why it does those so that you can put different combinations of buttons in there. So right now in profile 1, there's circle and square. In profile 2, there's triangle and square. In profile 3, there's, what's that? R1 and L1. And you can hold down and it lets you cycle through buttons to choose what you want in that profile. And this cycle has pretty much every single button on the controller, not just buttons, but even the directions, up, back, forward. So even the directional buttons, you can program them into these back buttons. So for a proper controller feel, you know, and then you hold it down and it's set, right? I think it makes a lot of sense. Rather than playing, you know, spending all that money, don't get me wrong, those Pro pads have their advantages. Some of them you're even able to tweak the sensitivity on the buttons and the cursors, but a bit extreme. If you just need extra buttons, this is, I think, is a very cost-effective way to get it done. It's about 30 bucks as advertised, but I paid less for some reason. I think it's about 20-something dollars I paid. But this is about 30 bucks. And that's way cheaper than paying over 100 bucks for a Pro controller, which someone might break. If you don't need this all the time, it's comfortable, it sits here, and I don't think it's gonna drain your battery because that screen goes off in a heartbeat. The minute you're not using it, it's gone. 3 seconds, it's gone. So I think they put that in mind. It's conserving power. It's just constantly going off. But if it's in the way, I guess you can take this out. I don't want to take this out until I try it. I'll do another video with actual footage of gameplay. Look here, they've given you back your headphone jack, so you don't have to take this out if headphone is the problem, if you need to wire it in, if you don't use a Bluetooth headset for some reason. You need to wire this in. What else? Yeah, that's really it. Or you have one of those weird docks that needs that space. You may have to take this out, put it back in, take this out, put it back in. That's a recipe for breaking it. And there are my thoughts on the back buttons, really clicky like I said. I will maybe shoot some videos with this in-game and probably post them later. In the meantime, you guys let me know what you think about the back button. Is it worth it, or should you just go buy a Pro controller? Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. I am gonna try this out for just a couple of hours, maybe 12 hours or something. Yeah, and then I'll let you know. Take care, guys. See you in the next one.